No way, Jose.
The following footage proves beyond any doubt that the tanks intentionally set the house on fire. It proves that the Branch Davidians were murdered. You can see that this tank has a gas jet on the front that shoots fire. You can also see the fire quite plainly. The tank goes into the house twice, and each time as it backs out, the fire at the gas jets is plainly visible.
We must all do more to recognize and look for the early warning signals that deeply troubled young people send.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Dump. This is the No Way Jose podcast. This is Jose Galison. I tee off in the chat. Let me know if you're new here. I know we just had that Sam Tripoli episode last night, so I would presume maybe I have one or two new people in here. I'm interested to see that that episode's already doing numbers. So any thoughts on that in the chat? Let me know. Let me know how I sound. Let me know how I look. Am I looking cute and breathable? Am I sounding good? Tee off in the chat, people. Let me know. Let me know. But it was a fun time last night. We had Sam Tripoli on the show on Already Dead with me and Austin. I think you guys will dig that if you haven't checked that out already. If not, I highly recommend it. But in the meantime, while we wait for people to get in here, let's start off with a fun little, there's a couple little quick ones. I see. Sounds gay as fuck. Okay. So, I'm assuming that means I sound good. Let's start off with this. This is from somebody named Brad Cohn. I don't think that really is relevant, though. Maybe it is. I just thought it was funny. He says, spitting out my coffee after reading this New York Times fact check of RFK Jr. And I'm assuming he pulled this from some New York Times piece. Mr. Kennedy has singled out Fruit Loops as an example of a product with too many artificial ingredients, questioning why the Canadian version has fewer than the U.S. version. But he was wrong. The ingredients list is roughly the same, although Canada's has natural colorings made from blueberries and carrots, while the U.S. product contains red dye 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, as well as butylated hydroxytoluene, or BHT, a lab-made chemical that is used for freshness, according to the ingredient label. That's a sign of the times. It's the exact sort of fact check you can expect to get from the New York Times. So let's check in with the chat. See we go. We got watched Tripoli episode this morning. It was great. Sam Tripoli under investigation from the comedy police. Building case on Illuminati confirmed. The Sam vid helped us realize we're not going to hang him yet as long as he speaks about esoterics and baby truths. Yeah, is this about the red bar thing? Is this what you guys were going on about? This is from under investigation from the comedy police. Because he said something. I believe we talked a little bit in the after show about something to do with red bar. I don't know. I honestly don't even really know who this red bar guy is. So I've heard people reference him. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's funny. I heard there was some sort of crazy joke he made about Sam, which I don't. It sounded awful on its face. I don't know. I've definitely partaken in comedy that taken out of context sounds awful. In context, it's still kind of awful but funny. So I don't know. I don't know what the situation here is. I haven't looked into it. But apparently they're I heard he talked about his daughters or something, which is pretty wild. I mean, I guess theoretically, really all it comes down to is like, I guess rapport. I think when it comes to stuff like that, I don't know. I mean, that gets in the spot where you're just intentionally just being mean spirited. I mean, maybe there's, I don't know. I feel like sometimes things do just get so mean spirited where it's just hard for it to be funny anymore. And I guess it depends on what it is. And I'm definitely not the too far kind of guy. I don't know. I'm completely talking to my ass. I don't know who this Red Bar is. I don't really know their beef. I don't really even care about their beef, or I don't even really care who Red Bar is. I mean, it sounds wild. I mean, it's a wild situation, that's for sure. So yeah. He says Red Bar is not funny in my opinion, but he's slathered all over YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, apparently he got under Sam's skin, and it sounds like I kind of get where he's coming from. Why it would. I mean, I don't know. I don't think all things are assuaged just by going, haha, I'm making jokes, bud. I mean, at a certain point, it's like, well, fuck you, dude. I don't find it very funny. So, I think this is probably, it sounds to me, this is very likely one of those lines. All right, guys, while we wait for more people to roll in from the chat, I do want to let you guys, I want to pay the bills real quick. Let you guys know about NWJ Shave Co. Let you know that today's episode is brought to you by them. If you're tired of that razor brain irritation, those ingrown hairs that you can get from those multi-blade cartridges, and then this is the way to go. Go back to traditional shave. You don't need the expensive bullshit. You can shave just like your grandpa used to. Whether you're shaving your whole face or just edging up your beard, the single blades give you a barber grade shave for a fraction of the price. The standard issue includes the one traditional safety razor that you see pictured here and a box of 100 stainless steel razor blades. That's $75, and that's supposed to be, the idea is that they'll last you for a year. Really, it's completely dependent on how frequently you shave. I've barely made a dent into this. I edge up throughout the month, and maybe I'll shave my whole beard off like maybe once a month. So I don't put a whole lot of work into it. I've barely made a dent in mine. But if you're someone who shaves on the regular every single day, I would highly recommend the Quarter Shave Club. That puts you at about 25 cents per replacement blade. He's also got shave lathers, 3-in-1 soaps, for body, hair, and face. This is also a COVID mandate refusing company. This company was born out of refusing the mandate. Old Nadeau got the word from the military, said, hey, you need to get the poke or get out, and he said, I'm getting out, and he decided to start this business up to kind of help with that transition. Use code Jose for 10% off your order. They support us. He supports Liberty. It's a good choice. Fucking do it. I mean, if you gotta shave your face, why not use a better product? A product that's better for your skin. It's cheaper. I mean, it's all together. It's just a better choice. So, I mean, it's also coming from people who don't fucking hate you. So that's the way to go. But yeah, use Jose for 10% off your order. It says we fucks with Sam and tinfoil though. He's still under investigation though. Illuminati confirmed. Sam, I guess, found out Red Bar's address and was out there yelling at his front door. There's a video of it. All right, cool. Well, that's pretty dope. Morning, everyone. Last night's show was really good. Thank you, J Pro Plumbing. All right, guys. Good morning from Redbeard, New Hampshire. Good morning. Good morning. It seems like the lobby is a little more full than normal, so that's good. It seems this had its effect. I mean, the numbers are really showing that you guys did like it. So, and yeah, it seems maybe we've retained some people. I will say though, if you are one of the people who are new to this channel and you did not go check out my co-host channel, I mean, this is a confusion. This is partially our fault. Me and Austin run this show Already Dead together, where we put it out to both our platforms. So if you're only watching on my YouTube channel or my Rumble, it also went out on his YouTube channel, and we have entirely separate shows. This is just one project that we come together on. So he has a whole giant library of things that you can go check out along with my stuff. I highly recommend my Oklahoma City bombing playlist, but I have plenty of other playlists you can check out as well. But my Oklahoma City bombing one is kind of like what I'm known for. When it comes to Austin, he is phenomenal. Go check out his. It's the Underclass Podcast. It's on YouTube. It's also on all the audio podcatchers. So check that out. If you're only familiar with my stuff and you thought it was just my show, not the case. You also got Austin, and he has a ton of stuff. And I mean, I'm probably more well known, like when you look at metrics and stuff, because just I'm not trying to be that person. Like, I'm not trying to do a little clout thing, but I'm just saying I've been doing it a little bit longer, and I've also had some more lucky breaks. He is, in my opinion, he's better than me. I mean, I'm just gonna be straight up. He just is. So he has a great body of work. Highly recommend to go check that out. So that's part of why I brought him on. I was very impressed with his body of work. So from there, that's when I was like, I need to get this guy on the show. And me and him did multiple playlists or multiple series on different things. Like me and him did like I think a Finders Cult series. We're still working on a Watergate series. There's I think might even be one or two other series that me and him did together. And then at a certain point, it was just like, yo, let's just do a weekly show. And so me and him do a weekly show together. So, but we both have our own separate podcasts and other things going on. So highly recommend go checking out his stuff. Cause I mean, being as his channel smaller, the most of the numbers went to me because that's just the way that YouTube is. It's very algorithmically driven, and it's like has more of a viral potential. So where I have a larger channel, it is more likely to hit viral. So like mine's already at almost like 3,000 views since when we did it last night. I think Austin's is at like 100. So, but he has a much smaller channel, and so it doesn't pick up as much. But I'm telling you, he is one of the best out there, and he is going to go far. So get in early. That's the way to do it. Definitely a good person to support and to push his stuff out there. I'm trying to foster his talent to push it out into the world. And, I think we complement each other well. Redbeard said, is he on Rumble? He is not currently on Rumble. That's something he's going to get around to at some point. He actually only recently just got on YouTube. So it's most of his stuff. I think all of his stuff is on YouTube. I would highly recommend checking it out on like on one of the audio podcatchers like Spotify or something like that. He, I don't think all of his stuff made it onto YouTube. For example, he had a Pizzagate episode that had to get taken down. So point being, it's probably the best place to do it. And it's mostly audio driven. There's not really like any sort of like video component to it that really matters. So would recommend checking his stuff out. But yeah, Underclass' amazing pod. His Ruby Ridge dive and Vegas shooting episodes are really good. Yep, he did. Covered Ruby Ridge when he went on Sam's show forever ago, and then Vegas when he went on my buddy Clint Russell or Liberty Lockdown podcast. When he went on there, he did both those. But he's got like a whole. He has done like really. It's one of those shows you almost want to go. You want to start from the beginning and work towards, because he started with the way he did his podcast is he did like probably 20 to 40 minute podcasts on specific topics from the beginning. And then as time went on, they got more and more specific to the point where now he's doing like hour and a half episodes on very niche. So, but it's cool. It's cool to see how it developed. You found it, what he was interested in as he went along. Like the beginning, the first 10, 20 episodes, stuff like an episode on Zionism, an episode on Oklahoma City bombing, an episode on 9/11, an episode on this. And then it gets to the point where it's like very specific affairs and he's going super deep. But good. So anyway, point being, it's good to start there. It's kind of like if you're just getting into that, it's just like conspiracy, parapolitical world, it's a good place to start, is from the start of the Underclass podcast and then work your way up. Because you're almost it almost like brings you through the different tiers as you go. Because you start out and you're just like, okay, maybe there's some fishy things going on with 9/11. And then by the end, you're like, holy shit, you're like full on like Eye of the Chicken Hawk programmed to kill. Like, I'm pretty sure the government's creating serial killers to fucking through SRA to take out their political rivals or whatever the thing may be. So you go from one, and like these are well researched things too. So it's not even like this isn't crazy conspiracy world stuff. This is stuff where it's like, hey, look at this FBI report. Look at this witness. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not claiming that 100%. Like, when it comes to any sort of, conspiracy, parapolitical stuff, a lot of times you do have to read between the lines and, decipher sources and stuff. But point being is it's well-researched stuff. It's not just a lot of conjecture. Although, point being is we're also not claiming 100% anything in there is completely true or whatever. You know what I mean? Because obviously we're always open to being wrong. But all right, I've rambled on enough. What do we want to get into to begin with? Let's start off with a little ditty, a little ditty. That's always fun. And then we'll get into the J stuff. Maybe if we push it away from the beginning, maybe less likely to get nuked for it. But all right, one second. Let me set this up. Oh, sorry guys, it's hard. I don't have a producer for the morning show. It's just me going, so bear with me. All right, cool. Here we go.
And that did happen with
all right, here we go. We got Liz Crokin. I don't know how you pronounce it. So she's a journalist. She's the one, I think, one of the original Pizzagate people or something. I don't know. I don't know a ton about her, but I know she's fairly well known through these spaces, and she seems to be in these spheres, like the Epstein stuff, the, Pizzagate, these sort of dark topics. Seems to be where she hangs out at. All right, Suge Knight claims Barack Obama and TD Jakes went to Diddy parties and Oprah went to Jeffrey Epstein's PDF Island on a YouTube interview with Michael Franzese. When Franzese asked if Obama was involved in Diddy parties, Knight responded, "Absolutely. You got presidents, you got preachers," Knight said. TD Jakes is one of the biggest black preachers around that everybody loves. Knight said also he doesn't believe Epstein killed himself and that he had Oprah and everybody to his island. He had Oprah Winfrey to everybody on that island, Knight said. I don't know why she felt the need to say that twice. She could have just used the quote or just said it because it's literally... All right. Anyways, that's just I thought that was silly. All right, 1 second. I accidentally clicked out of the tab. All right, let's do it.
And that did happen with Puffy.
We would be happy. Yeah. 1,000%.
You think Obama had anything to do with any of these parties that he had?
Absolutely.
Wow.
You got presidents, you got preachers. T.D. Jakes is one of the biggest black preachers around that everybody loves. Everybody in prison, if they try to get the word of religion, they're not going to the chapel somewhere. They're turning to watch T.D. Jakes. He had to resign from his whole community.
That's right.
You talking about the top of the top.
Unbelievable.
Of the top.
Man, I got a lot of questions with this guy, but you answered the first one. How do you get away with something like this for all this time with all these people that are allegedly involved? I want to tell you this. I was in the same tier, the same cell that Epstein was on. And Suge, there's no way in hell that guy could have committed suicide on that tier. I was in there for 7 months. There's no way.
And coming from you, I know you didn't know the truth. And I personally didn't think he was going to commit suicide. But the thing is, he had from Oprah Winfrey to everybody on that island. Anybody with a weird fetish, and that's what underage kids was on that island. And everybody knew it. So it's not like it's a situation where all of a sudden, maybe, this nigga talk. And you know as well as I know, like you being on the same tier as him, he probably was going to tell it all. He up himself,
No doubt. No doubt in my mind at all.
And made sure he did.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way he could have done it. First of all, they're watching all the time. There's cameras, and just so happens that one particular time there's no cameras and no one monitoring that. I had eyes on me 24/7 when I was there. So, I knew it was impossible.
Always.
Yeah.
You have that one time to yourself.
Nothing
You're
at all.
always watching yourself.
I will say it is interesting that they're talking about like the ability to actually be able to Epstein yourself. I find that interesting that these two people with experience in this are basically like, yeah, that's not happening. So that's interesting. I will say I have seen a lot of these clips before where it's Suge Knight saying wild stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's stuff that seems to be somewhat rooted in reality, but I don't know. Just maybe there's some reason why that I'm missing that Suge's been basically seems like for years now. Every now and then you'll see something where him saying making wild claims about other celebrities and stuff. And is there a reason why nobody's taking it seriously? I don't know enough of Suge Knight lore to or his legal situation to know if there's some sort of reasoning why he's just. Is it true? Is it not? Is he just someone who likes to talk a lot because he's fucking bored in prison? I don't know. I'm curious. It does seem weird, but this stuff seems to be stuff that seems to match up with other things we've seen. So not that crazy. All right, one more Diddy thing. This says, did you know Brittany Murphy died of pneumonia? Did you know her husband died just 5 years later, also of pneumonia? You can watch this video. It just shows pictures. But I just, this is like borderline me. Like, there's not much correlation to be had here. It's weird. We'll leave it at that. But I just found it worth bringing up. based on our previous discussions we've had on this show, on these morning streams, particularly the claims that Diddy was poisoning people is a claim that's kind of gone around. Apparently, what's his name? Jamie Foxx supposedly claimed this. There was a bodyguard that was going around saying this. I don't know what the specifics of this are. I need to look into this to see if maybe that was just some bullshit. If there's more to that, but I remember thinking that was really weird, that the poisoning and then all these people dropping dead around him. So yeah. All right, let's check in with the chat, see what you guys have to say. All right, TD Jakesby, swallowing snakes. Have you ever been swallowed up? Oh, stop sharing. There we go. All right. Sorry. All right, let's do a Ken Silva article. This is, you guys recall about roughly a year ago, there was a TopLobsta looking motherfucker who had this weird looked like a framed photo. This U-Haul is my vague recollections. We're about to go through this article together, so we'll get it spun up on it. But my vague recollection is this was some sort of like attempt an attack on the White House. There was this like photo that we're looking at right here with like a Nazi flag on the ground with the cops stopping it. Some U-Haul trucks. There's different like elements here. Obviously, the U-Haul rider, it has callbacks to that. Obviously, then the Nazi flag on the ground. But then the thing a lot of people made jokes about is they don't show a picture of him here, but it was just clearly like a Middle Eastern, Hispanic, something like that. Like, a light brown guy. Like, so it's just kind of funny that, the Nazi thing. So everyone immediately went fed when this happened. Yeah, so let's go through it. All right. Here's what really happened with last year's supposed Nazi attack on the White House. The Justice Department claims that a neo-Nazi intentionally crashed a U-Haul truck into a security barrier across the White House last year. What prosecutors say was the culmination of a 6-month plan to overthrow the democratically elected government of the United States and replace it with a dictatorship fueled by Nazi ideology. But in a sentencing memorandum filed in September, the lawyers for the defendant, Sai Varshith Kandula, a non-citizen from India, explained what really happened with their client, who's been diagnosed with schizophrenia. According to Kandula's attorneys, his plan was an assemblage of delusional thoughts stitched together by a common thread. For about 6 months, phantasmic ideas whirled inside his head. He jotted them down in a notebook, an archive of his impairment. According to Sai, a reptilian race had installed a puppet regime to operate the U.S., they said. Kandula acted on his delusions in May 2023, driving a U-Haul into the protective posts that separate the White House grounds from the sidewalk. After that, he stepped outside with a Nazi flag that would be plastered across mainstream news outlets for the next several days. It appears as though someone besides Kandula unfurled the flag for the world to see, as pictures of his arrest still show the Nazi flag folded in half to obscure the swastika. And here's a tweet from Ken. He has no time to unfurl it. He lays it on the ground along with the black bag, raises his hands up over his head, and lies prostrate on the ground. The two officers approach and grab his wrists. They pull his arms behind his back. Sai yelps. He says, please don't hurt me. An officer asks if he has any weapons. He says no, the defense attorneys recounted. Once in custody, an officer removed Sai from the scene. She sat him down across the street. So you tried to run into the White House, she asked. Yup, he said, I'm going to be the new leader of this country. Despite the obvious half-baked nature of Kandula's plans, the DOJ and mainstream media use his actions to generate Oh shit! Damn it! I fucking. God, that was out for a while. Sorry, I accidentally. I think I must have accidentally muted it too. I didn't realize that. Sorry, I hit the thing when I was messing, trying to adjust my thing earlier. So yeah, great. I've probably been out for the past like 30 seconds. My bad. Okay, well let's fly into the chat. Let's go in the chat for a second to recoup from that big old fumble. We got Media Landfill here. It says a Tupac shooting car crime scene was staged by photography, school, place, or whatever. They came out and admitted it. The whole yellow tape around car shit. So I wouldn't trust Suge Knight. Yeah, fair enough. You only have monitor, don't you? I don't know what that means. All right. An island Wiener. Yeah, that's hilarious. I love that you call them a weird TopLobsta looking motherfucker. Yep. Then everyone's saying the audio's killed. I can see TopLobsta driving around the Nazi flag in his box truck. Yep, sure is. Oh, they're saying someone says volume's low now. Okay. Let me make sure I'm actually going to the right mic real quick. Default. Oh. What the fuck? All right, can you guys hear me now? I was going, God damn it. I accidentally unplugged it. I hit the little thing that it plugs into. Now I think I'm on the right mic. Let me know if I'm on the right mic. I'm going to check now. I think I accidentally was using the fucking the computer mic there. God damn it. Yep, it's showing I'm on the right mic now. Cool. So I was accidentally using, I got it unmuted, but then I was using the wrong mic the entire time. Great. Sorry, guys. I got to it. There we go. You only have one monitor, don't you? Yes, I only have one monitor. I'm using a laptop here. All right, better. Audio better. Sorry about that, guys. Jesus Christ, man. Just fumbling here. All I did, this literally started with me just trying to adjust it a tiny bit because I just realized it was kind of low and not really pointed at my face. And then I must have hit the little plug on the back, and then I muted it. And that like immediately then kicked it to the computer mic, and then I fixed the mic here, but then I didn't hook it up to StreamYard. So yeah, there you go. A little window into the production world over here. Yes, fun times. All right, let's get back to we love our tech boomers, don't we, folks? Yep. Let's get back to let's get back to where we were at. Here we are. Oh, God damn it. All right, I don't know if I want to all right, you guys didn't really miss anything much. I'm not sure where I lost you guys. I hadn't read much more than like a paragraph. We talked where the cops arrested him. He said, please don't hurt me. I said, you tried to run in the White House. He says, yup, I'm going to be the new leader of this country, blah, blah, blah. And then we get... All right, let's boop. All right, 3 days after the DOJ asked for 8 years for Kandula, his lawyers filed a rebuttal explaining his history of mental health issues. Formally, his offense meets the requirement for application of the terrorism guideline, the defense attorneys admitted before arguing, but in substance, he's no terrorist. He's a 20-year-old with a serious but treatable mental illness, and a sentence of 10 to 16 months time served with GPS monitoring, mandated treatment and therapy, and a requirement to reside with his parents will satisfy that which the law requires. A sentence sufficient but not greater than necessary to comply with the purposes of sentencing, the attorneys argued. A judge was set to weigh the opposing memorandums and sentence Kandula on October 1st, but instead of sentencing him, the judge found that he was having a mental health breakdown and ordered him to undergo a psych exam. According to an October 30th joint status report from both parties, Kandula was transported by the U.S. Marshal Service to the Federal Medical Building and Medical Center in Butner, North Carolina, October 21st. Kandula's evaluation period is set to be complete by Wednesday, after which he'll return to Washington, D.C. He's set to be back in D.C. by December 28th, but the presiding judge hasn't set a new date for sentencing, presuming that's still happening. Kandula's family expects him to be deported to India regardless of the severity of his carceral sentence. Okay, yeah, so this all really was just like an extremely schizophrenic 20-year-old. Let me see if I can find... I thought maybe he might have there was another text or tweet from Ken at some point where it went into the kind of ramblings this guy was getting into. So yeah. Point being is this was just some schizophrenic dude 20-year-old guy. He had a whole bunch of stuff about lizard people. So one of our guys, he's kind of cool. He went a little bit off the reservation, but went a little too far into his delusions. So you guys gotta keep those in check. Check into reality occasionally, every once and every now and then. But it seems like I would still assume there's probably more to the story when it comes to like the Nazi flag and the staging of it, because the big importance of the story, I guess, is that the way this was framed. For those who remember the story, it was like it was just weird. It was because it was being positioned as like, oh, what right wing, violence on the rise. Ooh, like kind of like a McVeigh syndrome or something. All right, let's boom. Let's check in with the chats. See what you guys have to say. All right, I'm a fellow tech boomer, so I can't complain. I don't know if they're more like tech boomers or more like the lowest amount of effort possible. I'm a bit of both. I mean, I don't like change, especially as I'm learning new tech. I'm an idiot when it comes to tech. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All right. We'll blame the Jews for the tech problems and move on. It's actually Jays are really good about tech. It's internet connections that are their fault, which I will say someone did. I don't know if I mentioned this on my last week's Friday episode. I found it very odd. I mean, this tickled my schizophrenia a little bit. Just to peek into my mind. And I was already thinking a little bit this way when the guy messaged me about it. But one of you guys messaged me because I believe it was last week. What was it? I believe Wednesday, Thursday, I tried to stream, and I didn't end up being able to stream until Friday for my morning streams. And the reason being is both Wednesday and Thursday, the router just went down for no fucking reason. And those were both the exact days that I was intending, and I had announced to you guys that I was intending on covering the 25 plus suspicious deaths in the Dutroux case. So I listed them all off. And it just so happened that it took 3 days, and it took 3 days for me to be able to do that. So I don't know. I mean, obviously that could literally just be a coincidence, but that's the way the inner workings of my mind. I'm like, oh my God, they're on to me. I'm so fucked. Keep a gun under my pillow. Just standard stuff like that, all right. Let's get into this. All right, Andrew Cote. I don't know who this guy is. Writes about deep tech, energy, physics, sci-fi, and whatever. He's got like 80K. He doesn't need my promotion. But anyways, he just says the CIA publishes the craziest stuff on their website. Oh yeah, we had professional remote viewers. Yeah, we asked them to go visit Mars 1 million years ago. What did they see? Pyramids, obelisk, a dying elder race looking for a new home. Anyway, it's declassified now. All right, so let's go through these. All right, here is, I'm assuming the implication here is these are declassified CIA bullshit. All right, the sealed envelope. Okay, so this is for a remote viewing thing. Method of site acquisition. Sealed envelope coupled with geographic coordinates. Because, with these, the way it works is they put something, coordinates inside a sealed envelope to try to reduce them if people know about it. That way you can't tamper with the information. And there's a whole bunch more to it, but you give it to the remote viewer. The sealed envelope was given to the subject immediately prior to the interview. The envelope was not opened until after the interview. In the envelope was a 3x5 card with the following information. The planet Mars. Time of interest, approximately 1 billion years BC. Selected geographic coordinates provided by the parties requesting the information were verbally given to the subject during the interview. All right, plus 10 minutes. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, there we go. Plus 10 minutes, really start. All right, now it says Mon and Sub. I guess these are the 2 different people. All right, I'm assuming subject and then Mon. I don't know what Mon is. All right, now using the information in the envelope I've provided, exclusively focusing your attention now. Using the information in the envelope, focus on 40.89 degrees north, 9.55 degrees west. Subject, I want to know. It looks like, I don't know. It sort of looks, I kind of got an oblique view of a pyramid or pyramid form. It's very high. It's kind of sitting in a large depressed area. The man. All right. Subject. It's yellowish, ochre colored. All right. Move in time to the time indicated in the envelope I provide you and describe what's happening. I'm tracking severe clouds, more like dust storm. It's a geologic problem. Seems to be like just a minute. I've got to iron this out. It's really weird. The man. I'm going to just call man and subject. Just report your raw perceptions at this time. You're still early in the session. Subject, I'm looking at after effect of a major geologic problem. Man, okay, go back to time before the geologic problem. Subject, total difference. It's before there's no I don't know. Oh hell, it's like mountains of dirt. Appear then disappear when you go before. See large flat surfaces, very smooth angles, walls. They're really large though. I mean they're megalithic. Man, all right. At this period in time now, before the geologic activity, look around in and around this area and see if you can find any activity. Subject, see pyramids. Can't tell if it's overlay or not, because they're different. Man, okay, do these pyramids have insides and outsides? Subject, got both, and they're huge. It's really, it's an interesting problem, or perception I'm getting. Man, I think that he's losing his ability to move accurately, but he is attracted to things that are interesting. So we're going to go with this, with his own. We're going to let him go ahead and explore what seems to be interesting to him rather than move on the targets indicated here. Subject, it's filtered from storms or something. Man, say that again, subject. Subject, they're like shelters from storms. Man, these structures you're seeing, yes, or subject, yes, they're designed for that. Man, all right, go inside one of these and find some activity to tell me about. Plus 37 minutes real time. Subject, different chambers, but they're almost stripped of any kind of furnishings or anything. It's like a strictly functional phase for sleeping, or that's not a good word. Hibernation, some form. I get real raw inputs. Storms, savage storm, and sleeping through storms. Man, move close to one of them and ask them to tell you about themselves. Subject, they're ancient people. They're dying. It's past their time or age. Man, tell me about this. They're very subject. They're very philosophic about it. They're looking for a way to survive, and they just can't. Man, plus 40 minutes. Definite voltage reversal. Subject, can't seem to get their way out. They can't seem to find their way out, so they're hanging on while they look or wait for something to return or something coming with the answer. Man, what is it they're waiting for? Subject, they're evidently was a group of a party of them that went to find a new place to live. It's like I'm getting all kinds of overwhelming input of the corruption of their environment. It's failing very rapidly, and this group went somewhere. It's like a long way to find another place to live. Man, what was the cause of the atmospheric disturbance or the environmental disturbance? Subject, I see a picture of like a, oh hell, it's almost a warp in a, oh god, this is difficult. It's like I'm going, let's see. Man, the raw data? Subject, oh, I get a globe. It's like a globe that goes through Comet's tail, or it's through a river or something. It's all very cosmic. It's like space pictures. Man, all right. Now, before you leave this individual, ask him if there is any way that you ask him if he knows, and then that's where it cuts off there. All right, and then it says, oh yeah, the last thing, and then the next tweet from this Andrew guy, oh yeah, the last thing we picked up from Mars 1 million years ago was this dying other race, all getting to a shiny spaceship and then traveling to another planet that had a lot more vegetation. All right, who are you, and is there any way you can help him in his present predicament? I think it was a continuation of the last one. Ask him if he knows who you are and if there's any way you can help him in his present predicament. All right, there we go. Subject, all I get is that they must just wait. Doesn't know who I am, thinks he perceives I'm a hallucination or something. Okay, when the others left, these people are waiting. When the others left, how did they go? Subject, get an impression of don't know what the hell it is. It looks like the inside of a larger boat, very rounded walls and shiny metal. Man, go along with them on their journey and find out where it is they go. Subject, impression of a really crazy place with volcanoes and gas buckets and strange plants. Very volatile place. It's very much like going from the frying pan into the fire. Difference is there seems to be a lot of vegetation where the other place did not have it, and different kind of storm. Man, all right, it's time to come back now, the sound of my voice, into present time to right now, the 22nd of May, 1984, the sound of my voice. Move now back to the room, back to the sound of my voice, back further now, the sound of my voice on the 22nd of May, 1984. End of interview. Then this next tweet says, the more I research material for science fiction, the more impression I get that either all these intelligence agencies are massively trolling us, or perhaps we already live in someone else's sci-fi universe, and it's like the universe's best video game to drop into. Now, I will say, I actually mostly just wanted to read this as an example of why this is essentially, it's bullshit. I mean, sure, these things could be true, but this is what I was talking about with Sam last night, where when it came to any of the information coming from the UFO area in general Just throw it out. You just can. Like, I'd highly recommend people go check out Aberration of the Heartland of the Real. There's a great portion in that book where Wendy Painting goes into the degree to which the UFO research community has been infiltrated by the intelligence community. Like, and it's an insane degree. And it makes sense because it's an area that's been kind of looked at with scorn for a while. And I don't think it ever really deserved the scorn particularly. Because I do think there's an interesting thesis, but I don't remember growing up, it was always just like, oh, the kooky people believe in aliens or this or that. And you're like, so I do think it's unfair it got that, but it had it. And because that, I think it kind of presented an opportunity for the intelligence communities to kind of do whatever the fuck they wanted. Because, I mean, who's going to, like, for one, you're dealing with a community that you can do crazy, weird, mind-bending ops on, and who the fuck's gonna? What are you gonna do? What are they gonna do? Some UFO researcher is going to go to the press and say the intelligence community is feeding me fake information, or they faked a fucking UFO landing or this or that to mess with me. You're just gonna sound like an insane person. So this is a community they can easily fuck with, and they have. The documentary Mirage Man. Yeah, the UFO community is a psyop. Yep, that's the Mirage Man is one of the things they call the Men in Black. So the point being is, and that's not to say that there isn't truth in the UFO community. That, like, who knows? Maybe there are aliens. Maybe they are demons. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. The point is that there is enough documented examples of this area being toyed with so much that you need to do an insane degree of vetting your information. And even then, you're at that point where, like, why? Like, well, just why? Is it really that important? Whatever. I mean, if you're just for fun, I get it. Like, whatever. There's a fun topic to look into. But just keep that in mind, especially since I do think that this is going to matter soon. I'm not, like, predicting this, but I think there's a strong likelihood that we may see some sort of op related to this. And now whether there really are aliens or there aren't, or what the op is here exactly, I'm unsure. I feel like it's going to involve this, and I think it works out well to their advantage because it's an area that they have so much influence the reality of that they can kind of play with it, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just a coincidence all the credible videos encounters happen during military tests. Yeah, exactly. A lot of them are during military tests for sure. And a lot of that is that they did do things like they were feeding these people fake information, and the logic behind it is usually presented as that because they want these UFO research community to be like, oh, the aliens, the Rigelians or whatever the fuck, when really it's like, no, that was the SR-71 Blackbird or whatever in the fucking, when they were researching it or fucking with it in like the 50s or whatever. So, and I don't know, maybe we're, I mean, some of this, the reports are things that you struggle to believe that we're that advanced, but maybe we are, maybe we aren't, maybe they're aliens. Point is, I don't know. The point is that this is an area that's been thoroughly infested with misinformation from the top. So just beware. And I think this is a great example of it. It kind of ties into it too, because that one ties into remote viewing. And I always get people who point to research this or that about the reliability of remote viewers. And I'm not even necessarily arguing with it. I mean, I'll be honest, I am skeptical about whether it works. Some people claim. I just don't even care, I guess. Whether a remote viewing is legit or not is kind of a side point, because it's the same idea here, especially even more so because remote viewers are almost always like some sort of CIA remote viewer, like they literally work for the CIA. So this is even more to a higher level of ridiculous information control than when we're talking about just the UFO research community at large. Because I've already just told you, laid out why the UFO research community should almost just kind of take everything with the largest grain of salt ever. Whereas anything remote viewing, in my opinion, you should almost just assume that it's don't reflexively assume it's bullshit, but don't assume there's any level of truth to it. It's just a thing being said, essentially. So, like, because you also don't want to do the opposite, where you inflexively just believe the opposite, because then now you're just being able to be controlled in that way. Point being is just take it and go, okay, well, that's some information you're presenting me. Doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's not true. Carry on with my day. But when it comes to remote viewing, 100%, because. And once again, there are probably examples, maybe, for all I know, maybe remote viewing is legit, but there are definitely so many opportunities for, our guy said this. Did he really? Or did you toy with the results? Did you do this? Did you do that? How fucking easy would this be? How easy would this be to just make up entirely? What do you need, like, a couple dudes to fucking lie? Like, if that, maybe one dude? Like, you could just completely make this up. Like, this is the easiest lies ever. Like, when you get into remote viewing world, when it comes to CIA shit, easiest shit to do in the world. Like, yes, I know a lot of these people are real. Like, a lot of these remote viewers, a lot of these famous remote viewers or whatever, they are real. So theoretically, these people could be followed up on later. But they also could just make up remote viewers. And even with the remote viewer, it's like, okay, we have one guy that needs to keep his mouth shut. That's it. It's ridiculous. All right, let's check in on the chat. I have one more thing I want to go through with you guys today before I let you guys out of here. Yeah, they're gonna blue beam us with holograms in sky. The amount of alien bullshit on Facebook escalating daily. Yeah, so be extremely hesitant to buy into any of that bullshit. That's all I'm saying, is be extremely skeptical of anything even slightly tangentially related to anything UFOs. And I mean one way or the other. I mean, like, anyway. Like, pretty much. So I just want to be clear, because a lot of people are like, oh, you don't think there's Nephilim? Oh, do you think there's aliens? Oh, you don't... And they're like, I don't fucking know. That's not the point. Just take everything here with the largest grain of salt, because they're going to try to fuck with you. All right. There was a UAP during the hearing that said the UAP's going thousands of G's. Yeah, it's a drone. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that would make sense. A lot of these could be really advanced drones, because once you don't need a pilot, you can do some wild shit. Because I think it was the SR-71, the Blackbird that I mentioned earlier, that I think theoretically got to, like, the range of what humans could handle. I think it even can go faster. So if you can only imagine the type of aircraft they could create that aren't using humans, you could probably get pretty wild. Heard someone passively mention their dad worked on the UFO-shaped aircraft for the military. Might have been a bucket pull and kill Tony. No questions were asked at all. Most humans don't want to mess with that realm, so of course big government people will say they did. All right, let's pop in. All right, let's start here. I want to talk to you about was the pogrom thing. This happened like a couple weeks ago. This is a story that went around where it was pogroms supposedly happening in Amsterdam. Essentially, my understanding, the way this was being presented was that essentially there was like a soccer game in Amsterdam, and one of the teams was like a Jewish team or something, and then they just immediately started attacking the Jews. Essentially, I don't know the specifics. That's the way it's being presented. We're gonna go through some of this information. I have a few different tweets / like things for us to go through, yeah, and you'll get a better idea. But yep. All right, so Asa Winstanley, investigative journalist, Intifada. All right, this says, breaking, Sky News just deleted this video by their Amsterdam correspondent, Alice Porter TV, posted to Twitter without public explanation. I saved a copy. This video explains the truth about the Israeli football hooligans who went on a racist rampage in the city this week. All right, here we go.
Violence in Amsterdam left at least 5 people injured and dozens have been arrested. But what happened? Supporters of Israeli football club Maccabi Tel Aviv arrived in Amsterdam ahead of their UEFA Europa League match against Amsterdam club Ajax. On Wednesday, social media videos verified by Sky News show Maccabi Tel Aviv fans tearing down Palestinian flags from outside of homes. Other social media videos appeared to show residents chasing Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. On Thursday, just before the game, crowds of Maccabi fans were filmed singing racist and anti-Arab songs. while a pro-Palestinian demonstration had been banned by the mayor over fears there would be clashes. Later that evening during the match, Israeli supporters appeared to disrupt the minute silence for Valencia flood victims with chants, whistles and fireworks. Maccabi fans were seen attacking locals as a police car can be seen driving by. People with Palestinian flags were seen marching on the streets. Maccabi supporters say they were beaten and attacked on the streets of the Dutch capital, with videos showing some of the violence.
Say free Palestine and we go. Good.
Sky News could not independently verify all of the footage shown. Police arrested 62 people. 5 were taken to hospital, but have since been discharged. Israeli far-right ultras are notorious for their racism and physical violence. Dutch, Israeli and British leaders denounced the attacks as anti-Semitic and even referred to it as a pogrom. But their statements failed to mention the assaults by the Israeli hooligans against Dutch citizens.
So, yep. Anyways, so that's fun. I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. I have to be suspicious when, I don't know, when you have a people that literally, for some reason, have distinct words for when it happens to you. Like when it's not just a genocide, it's a Holocaust. It's not just a riot or a coordinated attack or something. It's a pogrom, and it's unique to you. I mean, I guess technically pogroms can happen to other groups, and they can same thing with a Holocaust. But I mean, let's be real. We know what they are. They're that's what they are. They're just so I don't know. It just seems, especially with something like a pogrom. It's like, I don't know. What are we talking about? Maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like, especially if you're really trying to sell me on in today's landscape, that we have people just on a spur, attacking Jews. It just seems wild. All right, let's bring on this. All right, let's go here. All right, let's check in the chats. I knew a machinist who worked on NASA moon buggy. Nice guy, got paid well. How could he not believe it? Which astronaut saw aliens on the moon? I've heard that before. I don't remember who. Jews started as per usual. Yes, they did. Funny how they don't see the irony of my unethical ideologies greater than your unethical irony. Have you talked about the Iranian assassination plot against Trump, coordinated from Tehran and used to Jews in America? I have talked about I have talked quite a bit about the Iranian plots. Let me see. Let me look at my channel real quick. I think it was the last one. I think it was it'll be on real quick. Sorry guys. I just want to get this right when I'm telling you. Which one did we go into? Sorry guys. All right, here we go. Actually went over with Radix. It was last week. It was 300 No Way Jose 363. So I went over with Radix. I did it on these morning ones. I covered one of Ken's pieces about this. So I'm assuming that's what you mean. So yep, go check that out. Go 363. That was 3 episodes ago. I went into that. There was the new one. There's been a few different versions of the Iranian assassination plots, or coordinated from Tehran. I missed that second part about coordinated from Tehran and used to. Used to. Oh, you threw me off because used to O as opposed to TWO or just the number 2. Used to Jews. Yes, that is the one we talked about. 363. That is the exact one. Yep. So wow, I don't remember the coordinated from Tehran part. But I mean, maybe I forgot that point or didn't really emphasize it correctly. But yes, you get paid yet screwed up. Yes, I do screw up and get paid. Appreciate it, guys. All right, let's get into this one right here. Here's from Max Blumenthal. Amsterdam Mayor Halsema now admits no pogrom occurred in her city, and Israel put words in her mouth. We were completely overtaken by Israel. At 3 a.m., Netanyahu suddenly gave a lecture about what had happened while we were still gathering the facts.
Welk moment dacht u, nu gaat het helemaal mis? Ja, dat is ingewikkeld.
Okay, well, there are no subtitles. Okay, we'll just take our word for it. That's what he said. I don't know why. Okay, it's a weird move to share the video and not have captions. Okay, all right, cool. Well, that's that. I thought that we'd actually be able to hear her words, but yes, that makes sense. That yes, Netanyahu apparently jumped on it immediately and made some sort of public statement on it before they were really even able to do anything, and so that's where the pogrom gets thrown around, which then kind of leads me to, I thought this was interesting, this Zandros Marinos guy. I see his stuff occasionally. I'm kind of impressed with some of his stuff. So I thought this was he laid out how these work, how these narrative games, these word games work when it comes to this pogrom or the beheaded babies or whatever the thing may be. And how these media games are played, these dirty games. This is a good way he laid it out here. It says how narrative scaffolds work. 1, make sure to get your maximalist story out there first. It has to have a strong emotional component and identify people who disagree as belonging to an undesirable class that one does not want to associate with. So think about this. Immediately, the thing was all these people attacking them, and they are anti-Semites. That was the core of the story immediately. They're the victims, and the people attacking them are anti-Semites. And anyone who says otherwise is an anti-Semite. 2, as the facts come in, people will naturally attach them to the scaffold they already have. They will avoid those with opposing views since they are considered low status. There you go. All right. 2, as the facts come in, people will attach. So you already have, so say with this example, you have people who believe one way or the other. And from the start, you started with your maximalist view, which you immediately put people in one or the other. And if you're attaching your belief system along to, let's say you buy into their narrative, essentially, or even the slightest bit, even the least bit of credence. So now you are at a point where you essentially picked this skill tree, or this narrative tree, and you are attaching things to it. So every bit of information you get from there is filtered through the first bit of information you were given at the beginning. And so I guess it depends on how you interpreted that, how that goes, and then how everything stacks on top of there. So if you are someone who buys into this, every little bit, or has an inclination to buy into it, every little bit adds to this, and anything that doesn't go into it, these are coming from, anyone with opposing views are considered low status. So this comes from the anti-Semite side. You've already established from the beginning that the bad people believe this other way. All right. So you're less likely to want to pull from there anyways. And it really is just like a confirmation bias thing anyways. No one really wants to admit they're wrong. So it really just kind of comes down to your worldview from the start, and then you kind of then base build your information from there. 3, if the opposing facts are too powerful to ignore, you still have timing on your side. Truth comes out as a trickle, so it doesn't become a headline. So long as people don't check back, they will still remember what you want them to. This is why I think it's super important to hammer them, all the way through with every bit of truth. Like the Blumenthals of the world here. I believe it was Blumenthal was if I recall correctly, it was Blumenthal, or I believe it was him. Yeah, he's a gray zone, I believe. Yeah. I believe he was the one who was really pushing the angle of how the wartime, atrocity stuff was mostly bullshit and extremely exaggerated. And he got a lot of shit for that, but he was really heroic in pushing that and just continually pushing it, even if it was well past, because they don't expect you to. All right. 4, for those that do, prepare a more defensible fallback position. For instance, it could be a fallback from anti-Semitic pogrom to clashes with anti-Semitic immigrants. This still keeps people who already want to agree with you on your side. They even feel sophisticated for going beyond the obviously fake scaffolding. So now they have a nuanced perspective. And it's of course, I don't think it was just a pogrom. I think it was a clash with anti-Semitic immigrants. So there you go. All right, let's check in. Let's look through the scroll through, make sure there's no super chats. All right, let's check in with you guys. All right, cool. Perfectly an hour. I think that's probably what we'll leave it at for today. because I'm gonna try to do another one Wednesday. Could try to do one every day this week, I guess. So do another one tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Maybe I'll take one of these days off. We'll see. But I don't want to use up all my content all at once. Keep in mind, guys, if you do want to, suggest things for the morning stream, you can do so, on my Twitter. Is probably one of the best ways to do it. The Rage Child is, one of my followers who's tags me a bunch. So what he'll do is he just finds a post and he finds it interesting. He goes, at Jose or at Austin or whatever, and then I go, oh shit, and then if it's interesting, I'll just add it to this bookmark folder. So if you guys just want to tag me in things on Twitter, that's probably one of the best ways to get this stuff put in here. If you find it to be an interesting or worthwhile piece of information, something that you feel like the world needs to know about, tag me in it. Tag me at Tower Gang Jose. That way I may or may not add it to it. I likely will. Most of the time I add you guys' suggestions, so long as it doesn't, I don't forget about it. I'm pretty sure I've added everyone so far. Maybe there's one or two that slipped my mind. But for the most part, I add most everybody. So it's almost a surefire way. That's not true. Rich Child's is tagging me in a bunch of stuff that I just didn't feel like was appropriate for this. But, he's tags me in stuff that's not just show-related. But point being, you can put in there, too, for the show or whatever. But I'll know, even if you just put my name, I'll know that you're like, oh, he probably wants this for the show. So that's one way to do it. If you're a Tower Gang supporter, in the Telegram there, we have a tab that's all for the morning dump. So if there's stuff you want to dump in there, you can as well. For my patrons, if that's something you're interested in, in a Telegram, then let me know, and we can look into that. Otherwise, or I can also I can give you access to the Tower Gang one. So just let me know if you want to be in there. But for those who are already in there, there's a lot of people who make suggestions. So there's ways you guys can get this in there. All right, these are awesome, Jose. Thanks for doing them. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. This is from J Pro Plumbing. It's great seeing you here a lot. So it seems like you seem to dig it. I seem the same crew, and it seems to be slowly growing. Hinchy says, just believe the opposite of the Jays say. Yeah, it probably leads you more truth towards. If you're doing the opposite of what Israel says, you're more likely to be right usually than wrong. So that works. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'll probably be back in here tomorrow. No nighttime episode. Usually today, today's Tuesday. Usually it would be Already Dead, but obviously we did that yesterday. So for those, I guess, who missed the news, no Already Dead tonight. It was yesterday, and we had Sam Tripoli on, so you missed a big one. Go check that out. Yeah, I do have tomorrow, Tower Gang, and then Thursday. I don't have a guest for Thursday yet, but I'll have one soon. For the normal No Way Jose stuff behind the paywall. We have my Lena Ajit episode that's dropping on Friday. It's Tuesday right now, so if you want to get it earlier, you can be a patron over at patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. That was a really good episode. I'm going to call that one Chasing Chicken Hawks, because we kind of went into child trafficking, kind of following the connections there. But yeah, that's you can get that early over at patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. That lowest level, like I said, that gives you those early episodes. I usually do about one a week. That's in the paywall. It also allows you to be a talking head up on Already Dead, just like we had a few people last night on with Sam that got to shoot the shit with Sam Tripoli because they were patrons of me and /or Austin. And the highest level, those are my sponsors. I read them off every episode. I have my co-host Toad, my co-host of Tower Gang Toad. You can follow him at Tower Gang Toad. I have at Abrogate D's, at ZOVERACK, at _Infinite Zeal. Then Jacob Daniel of the Biblical Anarchy Podcast. Follow him at Biblical Anarchy. Then Tim Tuttle. You can follow him at Jolly on Klebold. Then Will Bell has his delicious Rabbit Eye Blueberry Wine. And then a big fan of the show at Real Josh Elliott, who was actually on the show last night. And then Torin May, I appreciate you guys supporting me so that I can do what I do. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do that over at Tower Gang Jose, and tag me in anything you want me to bring up on the show. Agreed, these have been excellent. Thanks, guys. I'm glad to see you guys are digging these. I thought it was an interesting format, and it's kind of an easy way for me to kind of go through research with you guys and work it through in my head. And I thought you guys might find value in that, and I'm glad you have. But with that, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. If you really are getting value of these, make sure to like them, share them out there. there. If you want to make clips, do that. I mean, this is the best way to move that stuff out. I don't have like a high production budget or anything like that, or have some network that's, pushing all this artificial stuff. This is completely just homegrown, and it kind of comes down to you guys and how much this grows, and obviously me too. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to the reception from you guys and how much you guys amplify it and push it out. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Deuces.